Continuing on with science, I'm going to start with stress. It's something we've been taught since chiropractic school. Stress is what kills people. Stress is the number one killer. It's the number one disease. I'm going to show you how it relates inside of your practice. Most of our patients, they're stressed. And I'm not like mental stress. I'm talking about they're stuck in a fight or flight driven reality. They are sympathetic dominant. The kids you serve are in sympathetic dominance. They're dumping cortisol and adrenaline and norepinephrine, which drive their reality. And we're going to take those three hormones and we're going to run with all the different symptoms and presentations that you get inside of your office. And then we're going to back build that into subluxation or stuck, fixated, can't move, stress on the nervous system. So we'll just say there's three types of stress. We all know this from chiropractic school. There's emotional stress, there's death, there's loss, there's betrayal, there's divorce, there's all the mental, job, money, financial, all those things. We know what chemical stress are. I say fuel. You know, what are you eating? The medications, the over-counter, the prescription drugs, the alcohol, the sugar. Then there's just the physical stress of being born, accidents, traumas. High school sports, you got it. But stress is stress. And in my opinion, your brain doesn't give a damn. Stress is stress. If it's considered stress, basically the body will start dumping these hormones right here. One is cortisol. This one, most people know all about this one. One is norepinephrine. And forgive me if I don't spell these right. I'm not the best speller in the world. And adrenaline. We'll run with these. So with just these three, I can explain most of anything that somebody comes in with a ADHD child all the way to a woman that has back pain, gained weight, and is now on a bunch of antidepressants. If you know these three, you can educate most any of your people through here. And we're going to add two more just so you can make it well-rounded. So stress, sympathetic dominance, fight or flight. That's what we're talking about. Most of the people that you serve come in with these three. So here we go. Cortisol. When you're stressed, when you have a subluxation, when there's stress on your nervous system, when there's different disafferentation and dysautonomia, that's what dysautonomia is. We have a sympathetic dominant person. We're going to dig into this more later on in the next module, but let's just keep it at stress right now. They're stressed, they're fight or flight driven, they're sympathetic state. Cortisol, when it spikes, you're not going to sleep well at night. It's going to spike in the middle of early morning, 3 or 4. They're going to be exhausted. They're going to be tired. Their mind's going to be ramped up, wired, and they're going to shut down early morning. They're going to be tired in the afternoon. It's kind of how that is. And I use that inside of my consult. Are you having trouble getting to sleep or staying asleep? People that have trouble staying asleep, it's usually because of this hormone. They go to sleep, they crash, they're out, and then they're up at 3:30 or 4 in the morning. They're wide awake, and then they crash again at 5 or 6. They're tired, they're exhausted, they go to work, they just begrudgingly go through it, and then they're tired and they're burnt out in the afternoon. That is that hormone. Also, we know it does what it does to blood sugar. It also is heavy in immune system too. So if you got kids that are sick, they're constantly sick, guaranteed they're dumping about a bunch of cortisol. And so when cortisol goes up, their immune system naturally goes down. Their blood sugar is going to be elevated. We know it's associated with weight gain. That's what we serve. We serve these stressed out people with crappy immune systems that are heavier than they should be. They're on the verge of diabetes, or if not diabetic. This is why. And they don't sleep good, and they're irritable, and they're cranky. So we got to be able to tell we got to know more about the person's situation than they do. That's what creates credibility, right? So when we talk about this, that we need to be talking away, and they're like, aha, the light bulb goes off. If your science, if your education doesn't make the light bulb go off, and it doesn't make sense, and it's not simple, it's going to be harder for you to convert. It's going to be harder for you to grow that referral practice that we all want. Norepinephrine, I mainly keep this one for GI. It's the hormone that's responsible for diverting all the blood out of your GI and putting in your arms and legs for fight or flight. And so guess what happens when your babies have a bunch of norepinephrine? They're going to be colicky. What happens to an adult? They're going to have acid reflux or constipation or IBS type symptoms. So that's one of the common things that we run into. We run into a lot of GI issues, especially with children. But that's this hormone, norepinephrine. Adrenaline, high blood pressure. There's probably nothing been studied more inside the chiropractic realm. C1, C2, upper cervical adjusting. It also has a play, I would think, in ADD, ADHD. We have ramped up nervous systems. After I take these three, You're like, what about like all the emotional or the psychological aspect of this? That builds into the other two. And if we're sympathetic dominant, if we're dumping stress hormones all the time, we can guarantee that our serotonin and dopamine have declined. You cannot be in fight or flight, and you can't be in parasympathetic and sympathetic at the same time. You're one or the other, or you're balanced, but you're not going to be one. You're either dumping these or you got these under control. So serotonin and dopamine. If we live in this lifestyle where we're dumping a bunch of cortisol, noradrenaline, adrenaline, then we know our serotonin and dopamine have declined. That's going to leave us with more irritability. It's going to mess up our sleep cycles. It's going to, obviously, depression, anxiety. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to be content. You're going to be self-critical, those types of things. And so when somebody comes in on an SSRI, a lot of times we know that person's